Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the suicide of Rachel Foster. Previously, we cleared through day 3 to day 7 of being isolated in this hotel, where we learned a few things. So we have been collecting some information on Rachel Foster, to kind of learn more about her, and essentially learned that, in addition to her being an underage girl having an affair with Leonard, who is Nicole's father, or was Nicole's father at this point, that she was also pregnant, and that may have been what led to the suicide. It also doesn't seem clear as to the idea that there actually was a suicide, that there may have been something else going on. We're not entirely sure on that at this moment. We also, thanks to some stuff that Irving had looked into, we learned that some ghost hunters had spent some time here, and we went and found what they had left behind, because they had been scared so much to the point that they ran out of the hotel and left all their things behind, and including a parabolic microphone, which is what we've been kind of using to kind of pick up on the location of this like weird wind chime type tune that we've been hearing in the place. So what that means at this point, we really don't know, but it's definitely creepy. So with that being said, let's jump back in and see where this leads us with day 8. Um, uh, okay. What? Why are we in a chapel? There's a staircase. Secret image. This is unexpected. That's not creepy at all. Am I supposed to be going this way? What is that? That looks like a false wall. Am I in the hotel still? I am in the hotel. How did I get down there? I mean, I know how I got down there, but why was I down there? Did I mean to come in here? There's false walls everywhere. I don't actually want to go in there. Was I supposed to do something in the chapel and just don't know it? Oh. Huh.
Irving?
Merry Christmas, Nikki! Ho, ho, ho! It's a little late for holiday greetings, but I expected that.
What?
Well, I thought you were calling to... Hey, is everything okay?
Yes. I mean, I don't think so. No.
What happened?
I think I sleepwalked.
Yep, called
Like
it.
in the old Laurel and Hardy movies?
I'm serious. I woke up in church, standing in front of the lectern.
Wow. Does that happen a lot?
No.
One doesn't just become a sleepwalker from one day to the next.
It used to happen when I lived here. One time in February, I ended up outside.
But no parent leaves the doors unlocked if their kid sleepwalks.
I never told anyone.
Sleepwalking episodes are common in children.
That's not the point. I forgot all about it. Then I come back here and it happens again. If I ended up in that church, maybe there's a reason.
Sometimes following your instinct is the best thing.
Yeah. I'll do that. Oh, Irving?
Yeah?
I like that you call me Nikki. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Nikki.
There's one in my room. Oh my god, that's creepy. No. Okay. I have to go back to the church. Don't want to really, but my sleepwalking must be a sign. It was the dining hall, right? What was that? We all saw that, right? Wait. Was it the dining hall? Oh, I do not like this. I saw a light, okay? I'm not seeing things. Yeah, here we are. Okay.
Hi.
I was thinking, there really could be a repressed reason as to why you ended up there.
So you've come to the conclusion that I'm not crazy?
Never thought that. Well, at least not in this case.
Oh, fuck off.
Hey, language, Sister Nicole.
All right, all right. So, if I think about the church, I think about my mother. She often helped Reverend Foster. She decorated for holidays, did fundraising, and put up booths to involve the whole community in parish activities, you know, that kind of stuff.
I know what you mean.
I think she found gratification in doing that, something she didn't get elsewhere, including the hotel. When we moved to Portland, she quit.
Fundraising?
God.
I gather you didn't exactly have a high opinion of your mother when you were a kid.
Well, she was really busy with the hotel. I was always running after Leonard. He was much more fun than she was, no doubt about it. He was a philosopher capable of calculating the motion of celestial bodies while taking apart and refitting a motorcycle in less than half an hour.
What about her?
In the same half hour, she could have audited a business balance sheet. There you go.
Ah, a businesswoman.
No. What I understood later, living in such proximity to her, is that Mom loved feeling needed.
A religious community like ours makes you feel needed, without a doubt.
I suppose.
Okay, so there's sleeping bags here in the lectern. Let's start with the lectern. Somebody's been staying here, at some point at least.
Nikki?
When there was a party, my mother always got out the usual streamers and decorations and stuff. She raced in and out of the church, but I never discovered where she kept all those things.
Never asked?
Oh, a million times. She didn't want to answer. She said they were in a safe place. A real mystery.
What kind of decorations could they have possibly been?
Nothing explosive. It's just that I had the bad habit of sneaking all over the place and forgetting what time it was. There was that huge lady, the assistant cook, Mrs. Bryce. She used to get so mad.
A judicious girl.
They promised to reveal the secret storeroom when I got older, but I must have forgotten.
The mystery of the secret storeroom. Ooh, sounds good.
The riddle!
What are you talking about?
Leonard was never good at keeping secrets, but he taught me a riddle to get there.
Can you remember it?
Incredible. Yes. Oh, something like, down the stairs, watch your step, don't fall apart or it's your end, round a corner, turn around, there's your way in front of you. All that's closed can be open too if you see beyond its looks. But how can I remember it? How... it's... I...
Wow, total mystery. Want to play?
Yes, I need to think about it. I have no idea what it means. I'll call you if anything comes to mind.
I think I already know what it means. There was a false wall by the stairs back there. If you turn all the way around, you would see it. That's what I think it is, at least.
Someone broke into the church. Some fucking screwed up camper.
Oh, your father left it open for mountain wanderers.
God damn sons of... Oh! I'll have to clean up this mess before Jenkins shows up.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Normally, no one's around in this weather, but you never know.
Ugh, okay.
That's not concerning at all. Alright, so I'm assuming there's nothing else in here that we need to do. But, I said there were some boards underneath the stair, or not underneath, but next to the stairs. You wouldn't notice them coming down unless you turned all the way around, like she said. And that would be down this way. Maybe I can't access it, I don't know. Oh, hey! Look where it's going. Huh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Okay, we got some snow coming down. This is not creepy at all. Okay, oh my god. It's like a cell.
Oh, shit.
So, found the mystery decorations?
No. No decorations.
Is everything okay?
I found something.
What?
It's like someone built some kind of bedroom. Irving, you there?
Of course, yeah. What bedroom? Tell me what you see.
Okay. There's some windows drawn on the walls. Books. Sheet music. A pink bed. It's like a kid's room.
No way.
This place doesn't make sense. No one would live down here.
Nikki, I think you should get out there now.
Wait. There's got to be an explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Now I'm calling the head office and buildings. I'm telling them it's a code red emergency, so they'll have to...
Jesus Christ, Irving.
What?
This is all Rachel's stuff.
Yeah.
Understand? It's her room, a replica.
You don't know that. You can't know what her room looked like.
Everything here reminds me of her. Let me look around. I'm sure I'll find an explanation.
But my
Yeah, I
other
already
hand's
saw
on the
it.
red phone.
Keep it there, but don't make the call. I need to figure out what's going on here.
This.
Did you get out of there?
You know by any chance if Rachel wore a retainer?
Maybe. There was an article saying they hadn't found it at the site of the suicide.
I remember. She always made a horrible noise when she clipped it onto her palate with her tongue.
What does Rachel's retainer have to do with anything?
I found a box. It could be hers.
Why should someone keep a 10-year-old retainer?
Maybe they're not just keeping it. Maybe they're using it. The box is empty.
No way. I can't...
Let me go on.
Yeah, the kind of the iconic part of this story, if you look at the main screens and stuff, is the retainer, which kind of looks like a butterfly if you see it out of context, but that's what it is. Breadcrumb.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
We have to call someone. You have to get out of there right now.
No. I found a key. It's from my old music box. The one in Leonard's room.
I'm having a hard time following.
If everything in here is Rachel's, then why is my music box's key here?
I don't know and I don't want to know. Tell you what I think? Someone could have been in your room.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious.
It doesn't matter.
How can you be so calm?
If someone was in there, he's not here now. I need to grab the chance to figure out what the hell is going on, or went on, here.
Breadcrumb. Somebody set this up. And that's a strong word to be using, considering the speech therapy thing.
Nicole, listen. I already know what you're gonna say, but please trust me. Get out of there.
Please, you're not helping.
You do realize you found the replica of a dead girl's bedroom. This is sick. This is
The more things get freaky, bizarre, and painful, the more I need to figure out why all of this...
We'll figure it out. With the sheriff. Once you're out of there, into a safe hotel room in town. Please, just...
Listen, a bunch of strange things happened since I got here. Think about it. Phone calls on a dead line, old lipsticks that don't go bad. Leonard's notes where he says he saw a girl that's supposedly been dead for 10 years, and now this!
All good reasons to get out of there. We both agree that saving your skin is top priority, right?
I've looked over every inch of this place, and there's no one.
If it's true, you realize what that means.
What? What are you trying to tell me?
Your father... he spent years in there. In total solitude. With the weight of his family and Rachel on his conscience, he wasn't the kind of guy to just let the past slide with a shrug. You know that too.
You're joking, right? You think he did this?
Think about it. That room could be an act of love. Distorted even more, but in his eyes...
How dare you? My father might have had a lot of weaknesses, but surely what you're saying... Leave out that he cheated on my mom. Leave out that he fell in love with a 16-year-old, but fucking hell, don't you dare even think that! He would never have built a fucking underground shrine for a dead person.
Your father had changed in the end. You didn't spend time with him. I met him, and I'm telling you.
No! I don't give a shit about what you have to say.
I just want you to know that...
If you don't want to help discover the truth, don't call me.
I don't know if there's much more in here.
Asshole. How dare you? You don't know shit. You don't know fuck. Finally, a bit of peace and quiet. They'll help me clear my head without those incessant phone calls. I'm not a fucking switchboard, for fuck's sake. Okay, let me piece things together. I just found out there's a room dedicated to Rachel Foster in my father's hotel. Maybe with items from her real room. Holy Jesus, that's freaky. Some people think she didn't commit suicide, and some even think she's still alive. Maybe if I think through my steps, I can work something out. First thing, the phone call. They said Rachel isn't dead. Then the lipstick from 10 years ago turns up, still good. And then my father's various notes where he says he still sees her. If that were true, it might explain the sighting by her friend here in the Timberline. And now I find her retainer box, but no retainer. that room might not be a reconstruction if Rachel didn't kill herself. Rachel could have lived here. But if she's still alive, why doesn't she tell her parents? Unless they're all in cahoots. No suicide, no Timberline money. No, I'm just being paranoid. And then there'd be no reason for her to live in a fucking underground replica of her room. My key in the middle of Rachel's stuff. Is it a message? Where do I fit in? Are you trying to tell me something, Dad?
My music box with the hockey player. I don't think I have the guts to hear that tune again. But I must.
So I guess it's back upstairs. Okay, music box. The hockey player?
The 27th of December, 1983. The hockey finals at Missoula. Us against Cold Springs High. We won by sudden death after a 3-hour game, and I got the medal for the most number of face-offs won. According to the papers, that was the night Rachel killed herself. Coming home, Mom barely had the time to pull into the garage that I was already racing up to you, waving the medal in your face, Daddy. I was so happy. But you had other things on your mind, right? And you and Mom started fighting. Voices getting louder. That long silence when she comes down the stairs with the suitcases and Mrs. Bryce tries to stop her. Mom's car stays here, and we leave with my Uncle John's. I never found out what started that fight. Mom never wanted to talk about it. Are you trying to, Daddy? Irving.
Finally.
I'm okay.
I was dying on this chair.
You're right. That room freaked me out. So, I looked around the entire hotel, and if there's still a chance of getting to the bottom of the story, then it's gotta be behind the locked door on the last floor, in the attic.
That wing has been condemned for years.
I know, I'll be careful.
Okay.
There are too many things that I took for granted. It's as if someone was putting pieces of my past in front of me to show them to me under another light.
Who are you talking about, Nikki?
Maybe it's my father. In my music box, I found the medal I won the night Rachel died. Dad could have put it there, and if he did, there must be a reason.
It all sounds insane.
The night Rachel died. Maybe I have to start from there. I played in that really long hockey game. But what was going on in the meantime? You remember that night, Irving?
I think I was at church with my family.
Church. That night we had a mass for the poor here. We held one every year. As usual, Mom volunteered to take me to the game, but she was so busy with the soup kitchen that I was afraid she was going to be late. I remember while she ran around, she said she ordered me to close the mezzanine.
You mean the intermediate floor above the reception? What's in there?
A storeroom.
Have you been up there?
No, I'd forgotten all about it. I'd better take a look before moving on.
Okay, I better take a look in the mezzanine, in the middle. In the middle, the better things find their proper position. Mezzanine would be like the main area, right? We're looking at, is it the main hall or one of the offshoots? Look, another one. Okay. It's not pointing to... It is pointing to it. It's this, right? Oh my god. Do we have to? Do we really have to? I say as I walk right in. Oh my lord. Oh my dad. Yeah, that's not set up at all. The hockey stick.
Irving?
Hello? Can you hear me? I'm on the mezzanine, and it's a nightmare.
There are mannequins everywhere. They're set up like in a scene. There's one with a hockey stick. Wait, what the fuck? That's my stick! If you're listening to me, whoever set up this representation, I think they want to tell me that Rachel was killed? But why my hockey stick? Hello? Hello? Oh god, why isn't he answering? Irving, I swear I'm not kidding. This is a huge deal. If you can hear me, it's time to make that phone call.
Yeah. Now you say it. I heard that. Okay, come on.
Where are you, Nicole?
It's about time. Did you hear my messages?
How many doors have you opened, Nicole? How many are still missing?
What? Are you drunk?
Keep going.
Hello? Hello, Irving.
Irving, what are you doing? What's hiding behind the second floor sealed door? Huh. Okay. We're on the museum side. Trying to remember. No, is it the other side? I've only come up here like what, one time? What? Did I open that? It's open. The wires. Montana over there.
I imagine you found my room.
What? What does all this mean?
That's a question I've asked myself many times. What does all this mean, Irving? How far do you want to push yourself? How much can you take?
What?
Every memory, painstakingly gathered, every reconstructed piece, every little element retrieved from the dark. A photo, a hairband, a lipstick. It means remembering, Rachel. That's what all this means. I didn't choose this path. I had to do it.
What did you do, Irving?
These walls ooze with memories. The memories get into the walls. Under the floorboards, they creep into the crawl spaces.
You're not with FEMA. You... Jenkins... You never talked to him. Your boss, the phone call, all those weird events. You were behind all of them.
Someone had to bring the last piece of the memory puzzle here. The most important one. You.
Me?
Your father wanted to keep you out of it. I convinced him that only you could resolve the equation, as he called it.
I don't understand.
How could you? Over the last few days, you got a little taste of what it means to dig around in the past, hunting for memories that scratch away behind every wall in the night. We did it for years, day after day after day.
All lies.
I have nothing against lies. I grew up around lies. But now it's time for the truth to come out. Finally.
Who are you, really?
I want to tell you a story. There was an invisible boy. Like everyone, he just wanted to run on the grass, ride a bike, swim in the lake in summer. But his father had other plans for his soul. In his dark world made of silence and prayer, there shone only one star. His wonderful sister. A heavenly creature that spent hours telling him fairy tales in secret. She who told him what a free and strong man he would become one day.
Rachel?
She was like that. Free and strong. At the time, I didn't understand her dyslexia. Or what retard meant. What they called her at school. But I could hear her cry. At night. I wanted to protect her. But I couldn't. One day, that beautiful, luminous creature met someone. A human being that saw her. For real.
My dad.
Yes. And I was the invisible witness of what happened. A love. Simply a love. Nothing more, nothing less. But that love was too much, and it would be punished. Who paid for this love, Nicole?
Rachel. Rachel was your sister. Now I remember you.
You were too caught up with your hatred for Rachel to notice the innocent little kid that sometimes tagged along.
I didn't hate your sister. I was just jealous.
Doesn't matter. Those days are over.
How could I have forgotten you?
I was raised to be forgotten.
What do you want from me?
The day my sister paid with her life for her love, we all died. We make up the history of the Timberline.
It was a tragedy. But you...
We all got frozen there. In that very moment. In that confined horizon of events. As you'll understand. As you've already begun to understand.
I want to know what you want from me.
You have to keep going. To get to where I wasn't able to go. You will be the new witness. You owe it to us. And you owe it to her.
A few years have passed since I last used this old tape recorder. I think you were in elementary school. I imagine a testament should start in a poised manner. My dear Nicole, my favorite daughter, etc., etc. Poised, weighty, serious, irrevocable. I prefer asking you how you are. How are you, Nikki? You're probably tired. I can imagine. At this point of your journey, the marks and voices of this old hotel will have already whispered all their secrets. You've always been good at solving puzzles. In this, you surely resemble more your mother than me. Irving has always been convinced that you, only you, could surmount the fear and suffering that exuded from these hallways. We tried. We waited. We were terrified. We studied. We listened. We listened to her. But all the love in the world wasn't enough to decipher those muted vowels, those wide open eyes, those tears of light. In your time and space, in the here and now, I will no longer be with you. But it doesn't matter. Trust me, it doesn't. I have a new theory, Nikki. Love is and remains. It is in the wood you stand on, in the walls that keep up this hotel,
Who are you
in
talking
the air
about?
we breathe. And sometimes it hates. It hates those who didn't allow it, those who cast it aside with indifference, and those who can't recognize it. Stars still emanate their light, even after collapsing, right? There is a lot of light here. There is light in death. I want to free myself of all this darkness. I can no longer see the stars. I'm tired of surviving in this limbo. So, how are you, Nikki? I'm good. I will be good. Figure out what Rachel is saying, Nikki. She's here.
I'm assuming all we need is the key. So who's the murderer? It sounds like they were working together. And where would the key go to? So he was following not just us, he was following the mother too. In his darkroom photos, her vehicle was in there. And it sounds like he was working with Leonard. Jesus.
Hello?
Leonard was a very special man. His soul was big enough to love both you and Rachel.
I knew my father's soul better than anyone.
You were just a jealous kid.
Don't you dare try to make me feel guilty. You don't...
I just want you to get to the truth.
So why didn't you tell me about the truth?
Tell who? The Nicole who thought eating beans was the worst tragedy and couldn't wait to finish this business and run away, forgetting everything all over again?
You don't know anything about what my mother and I went through.
But you're different to when you got here. Now you can discover the truth, a truth that otherwise would have destroyed you. I didn't lie to you. I protected you.
Listen, I'm sorry about Rachel. I hated her, and I hated my father, but I never wanted it to end like that. I understand your pain, maybe better than anyone. Betrayal, shame, death. My family was destroyed, just like yours. How much longer does this pain have to last?
It'll be over soon.
What else is there to know?
You want the truth. Well, I can't give it to you. I've already given you everything I could. Now you have to tie the pieces together.
What does that mean?
Your father always said we are the sum of the people we take with us, and you abandoned these people. Here, in this place.
Enough riddles, Irving. I'm tired.
Me, too. You're the only one who can give a finale to this story. It's time you open the last door.
Which door is it, though? We just have a key that says Claire on it. What is that? Okay. Inside Claire's car. Oh my god. What are we gonna find in the car? I can only think of one thing. The retainer was missing from the box. It's gotta be the retainer, right? We've walked by the room 100 times. I completely forgot about it. I think it's over this way. They've been throwing that in our face ever since the start. We gotta wash the clothes, right? The blanket, whatever it is. there it is.
Oh, God. How could I have forgotten? I saw everything. I was there. All the pieces were in front of my eyes.
A kid's eyes.
It was the same night as the hockey game in Missoula. Reverend Foster was so busy with the preparations of the meals for the giving to the poor at the Timberline church. And my mother, Claire, said that we would get back from the game in time for the distribution. She convinced my father to help the Reverend, and he'd come with his whole family. You and Rachel.
Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I couldn't find my stick. I panicked and I went down to the garage. Claire was there, red in the face. Her look.
Her look?
It was just a fleeting feeling. That's why I erased it from my memory. I had to erase it, understand?
What was in her look?
It just wasn't her. It was like a frightful creature. A disturbed, dangerous animal. I've never seen her like that before or after. Not even on her deathbed. And then she put her hands on her hips, exhausted. She smiled. And there she was again, my mom. I thought it must have just been the impression of a moment. I had the finals against Cold Springs High awaiting me. I climbed in the car, throwing my bag into the back seat. My hockey stick was there. Claire said she'd cleaned it. She'd cleaned it.
Go on.
No, I don't.
Go on!
We got there on time and I played. Best game of my life. And the last. Claire was on the bleachers encouraging me and cheering. And then I lost sight of her. For 2 whole periods, I think. And later, when I asked, she said she'd moved because Marty O'Donegal's father was getting on her nerves. But it wasn't true.
Just enough time to go back to the car.
Don't say it. Irving, don't say it. Don't say a thing. I don't... I traveled all the way with Rachel's body and the baby she carried inside of her in the trunk, rolled in the blanket. God, oh my God. She killed Rachel.
Thank you, Nikki.
You've had your revenge. I hope all this gives you the peace you were looking for.
I wanted you to help me uncover the truth.
You're saying you didn't know that Claire...
I was only a kid. Plus, she never wanted me to get to the bottom of it.
Rachel is here?
You know, I think she's still protecting me. But I'm grown up now. Now, we can all be reunited at last.
What? Wait, where are you going? Listen, we can work things out. What happened is terrible, but all the main players in this story are dead. Get it? Dead. We are still alive. We're alive. Me, you, we didn't do anything.
That's exactly what we did wrong, Nicole. We didn't do anything. It's beautiful here. Rachel told me about it so many times, but I never thought it was so beautiful.
What? Irving, where are you?
It's white as far as the eye can see, beyond the mountains.
You left the hotel? But it's too cold. You'll die out there. Irving, please.
I've lived in the dark for years. You freed me. And now I can finally rest in the light. I can go back to her.
Don't go. You can't. Don't leave me, too. We have our drink.
It's not a goodbye, my tough, pragmatic, stubborn Nikki. We'll meet again. And another time. Beyond this horizon of events. Everything is...
Irving? Irving? I don't want to stay alone here. Everything seems to be becoming dark. I'm scared. Who's there? Rachel? Is that you? Yes?
Nicole, it's me, Jenkins, the attorney. Finally, I can get through. You don't know how many times I've tried. I can't hear you. The connection's bad. How are you? I was really worried about the storm.
I'm good.
Great. I'm glad. You're sure you get...
Listen, I don't want to sell the hotel anymore.
What? Damned interference. I didn't catch you. What'd you say?
I don't want to sell the hotel anymore. You've been really nice. Your job is done. Thanks.
Oh, well, I see. Well, you're the owner, and you got every right to decide. But maybe we should talk about it in person. I want to understand. This kind of decision...
I'm back home, and I have to stay here. Forever.
Wait a sec, let's talk. And there's also my fee.
You know, Mom, I was thinking about going to the lake. Remember where we went with Uncle John last year? Daddy and I started talking about the stars. You can't see them during the day, but they're always there. You feel like it? I would so like it. And we can have dinner at Doc Smith's diner on the bank. Rachel and Irving could come with us? What do you think? It would be so nice to be all together. Mom, Dad, it would be so nice. Wait, I did all that you asked me. Stop it, please. Anger shouldn't rule our life. You said that. I'm scared. I don't want to die. It's getting dark. I can't see stay here with you, Daddy. Mom, we'll bring back the Timberline to its fortune together. We will be happy again, all together. Yes. Like a whole family. No more anger.
Sometimes I hold you, but only in my dreams. I wake up and you're gone. Sometimes I follow you, but only in my dreams. When I forget that you're dead, speak to me in words unspoken. Cry it out between the trees, between the trees. Speak to me with silence broken. Share with me the life you live, the life you live, the life you
Okay. So that was the end of the suicide of Rachel Foster, days 8 and 9. And man, did they drop a lot on us there at the end. Um, so I have played this before. I don't remember if I said that at the beginning or not. But you know, if you haven't played something, for me, if I haven't played something a few times, I tend to forget a lot, which is why I didn't necessarily know a lot of what was coming. But that some of that I could kind of see building this time, and I'm wondering if it was my memory recapturing it, or if it was just or if it was just a little bit more obvious to me this time. Maybe I was paying attention to it more. So there's a few parts of that are a little bit confusing, to say the least. But the way I understand that is that so we know that that Leonard and Rachel had some kind of an affair. They were in love with each other, or something of the sort. And I said at the beginning, Irving had commented on how Leonard was a recluse. This wasn't just some guy preying on victims. He actually, and I'm not saying what he did is right. I'm not defending him in that regard. But this was a kind of a standalone situation. It sounded like with him. It wasn't like he was he was a habitual offender type person. But he had this affair with this underage girl, I'm assuming he got her pregnant based on all that, which, there's a whole bunch of nope wrapped up in that. But, they've been playing off this story as though she had committed suicide. And, kind of leading up to it without knowing anything, the assumption would be that something about that situation drove her to it, which now we learned is not the case. Most people probably would kind of get the idea that, or maybe not most people, but it seemed like Irving knew a little bit more than he was letting on right from the start. And which, it's not to say that he knew too much. It sounds like it's a small community, like everybody probably knew each other pretty well. So it wouldn't be out there or outlandish to assume that he knew Leonard pretty well enough. But he has been kind of clinging to us in a way where, you might think, okay, something might be a bit off here. So whether or not you picked up on the idea that Irving, I don't know, I wouldn't say, I don't see him as an antagonist. He's, I see him as, in a way, another victim. And I would say we are one ourselves, too. I think she had blocked that out of her mind because of what was going on. She knew something was out of line when she was younger, but she had kind of blocked that out. I don't think didn't sound like she saw everything, but she knew enough. And so the setup of that situation, Irving probably had an idea of what was going on. I think both Leonard and Irving knew something was amiss there. They just didn't quite have the full picture. And it was Nicole's memory that they needed to finish the picture. And so with Leonard's passing, this was a way to draw her to the hotel where Irving could pull out the final piece of the puzzle they were missing. This had nothing to do with Leonard in the end. Or Irving. Irving and Leonard, it sounded like they were working together. He liked Leonard, he looked up to Leonard in a way, and he said this whole situation between them, it was maybe a really disturbed way of looking at love. It was the mother the whole time that was responsible for this, so that she did not commit suicide. The mother must have either pre-planned this. I want to say, to me it sounds like this is all premeditated. She went out of her way to make this happen. So during this hockey game, which they've been talking about, the mother, I'm trying to think of her name now, Claire, left the game, murdered Rachel and her unborn child, and put the body in the trunk of her vehicle. And we knew that Irving had to have been following her because he had images of the vehicle. We saw his dark room set up. I don't know what she did with the body. They never claimed that there was no body found. And so it seemed pretty clear that, she had died by the time that some of these stories had come out. That was kind of a loose end. And so trying to piece this together in my mind, so she must have she must have set this up to some extent. I don't think she just snapped when it comes to Claire. She must have, really pre-planned this. And then the missing piece that we had here was the retainer. And I said, as soon as I started going for the vehicle, I'm like, we're going to find the retainer. It's the mom. And so that was the missing piece. And they've been throwing that in our face. It's literally the title screen. It's literally right there on the loading screen and at the bottom of the main screen here. It's the box that was in the room. Some of that stuff was hers, was Rachel's. And so that coming back to the mother. And that was the piece we're missing. And you notice when she was washing the blanket, blood came out. It was just soaked in blood after that. So this had not been cleaned. It had just been sitting in there. But what they needed from her, they had the evidence to some extent. What they were missing was her recollection of this. Her mom had cleaned the hockey stick. She knew her mom had cleaned it. There were certain pieces in there that were just, the way she left for 2 full periods. So this is going on during the hockey game. She knew that Rachel was going to be there, that Irving was going to be there. And I'm assuming Irving's probably not his real name. I don't know if he commented on that. Maybe it is his real name. I don't know. It could be. I don't think he really commented on that, but I'm like, you feel like she would remember that name, but I guess not. It sounded like she had blocked out a portion of her past there, which, from traumatic experience, you would kind of expect that. So I think that part's pretty clear cut as far as to what happened. I don't really know quite how Leonard and Irving made their connection with each other. Maybe Irving was trying to look into this, or Leonard, and that's how they somehow connected with each other. I don't know if they ever really pointed that out. But that's why they had the room set up with the hockey stick. That was one of the clues. And then they brought it, the car key to the trunk. Irving was setting up these clues for us to find everything. And then the father was in on this to some extent because he had left the video for her, the recording that we found in the attic. And they just needed to draw the rest of it out from her because she had some bearing of witness to this. Whether she saw it directly or not herself or part of it, I don't think she saw the murder itself, but she saw enough to put the pieces together. And that's where the sign said murderer earlier on. The one in the attic. It wasn't us it was referring to, it was the mother. Now the other part of this that might be and the game was highly criticized for this, but the other part of this, and I can see where people would criticize the game for a lot of things. Some people really for good reason, they refer to like what was happening there as like a grooming situation with Leonard, which I can see that. But again, as Irving said, it's kind of it might be a messed up, demented version of love, or but he was seeing it as something that was more pure than what it really was. And I could see that coming from that perspective, but I mean, it was like I said, I'm not defending him by any means for what he did, but it was really the mother here that was the true evil behind this, I would say. Which, you might not expect from the start because she was very close with her mother, and her mother hasn't really been in the picture here as far as we know, other than to send the proceeds to the family, which I guess we can see that now. She was probably guilty, or felt guilty, I should say, because she was guilty, but she probably felt guilty over what she had done. Because how would that not eat you up alive? The part that I'd say that probably drew some criticism, because I can understand where that would come from. The part that probably that seemed to draw a lot of critique was the ending, because there are two ways that could have ended. You notice I turned the vehicle off, because if I didn't, there would be a third suicide in the mix now. Or sorry, a second true suicide. Irving walked up into the abyss of the snowstorm, so he would have died from hypothermia. We were going to be the second one if we had left the vehicle running from carbon monoxide poisoning. But also by turning the vehicle off and not doing that, she didn't quite sound like she was right in the head at that point. And I suppose I can see where this might have major repercussions on you if this is something you just learned. But I can agree with the criticism here that felt really out of character for her to me. That she would think of doing something like that, let alone go through with it. Or the way she was talking in the end, like, to me, she sounded a little bit crazy. And I feel like that was a little bit out of character. More than a little bit out of character. Based on what we knew about her up to this point. So that I can understand the criticism, because this game didn't get like rave reviews or anything. I came across it because I watched somebody else play it. I thought it was really good. But I can understand where the criticisms come from in that regard. Now, I had said earlier on that the whole story, the kind of love story here, the disturbing love story, reminded me a lot of a show I'd watched recently called Cruel Summer. Season 1, if you watch it, has a big story arc in it that kind of resembles some of what was going on between Leonard and Rachel, which I thought was really interesting. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's really, really good. Second season's completely different, but the first one kind of had some reminiscent of this, and I'm kind of wondering if maybe they even drew from this, because I do believe this came out before that, but I think at least, because it looks like this is going back a few more years. So that's kind of what it reminded me of in the end. But I mean, overall, I felt like the characterizations were really good. That's the one part of the game that did get really good reviews, was the camaraderie between Nicole and Irving, which to me is the best part of the story. And that's the part that really reminds me of Firewatch, which Is why I kind of brought that up at the beginning as being kind of similar mechanics, because you're talking to a voice on the other side of the radio, so to speak. So those are just some of my thoughts on it. There's probably a lot more deep diving I could do. I don't think I really missed much in there. Irving could easily get around. He was in that room. He had a space heater. He's the one who set up the electronics. He was using the hallways behind the door to get around. That way we would never see him. If you notice, I said there was a prop room in our there was a false wall in our room. I mean, he had a way to get around. I guess the only thing that I'm not really sure on in the end of the story was the room underneath the chapel, in the chapel area. It looked almost like a cell. Irving had implied that it might have been set up by our father Leonard as a way to commemorate Rachel, which I guess would make a little bit more sense. I didn't really understand why it was set up like a cell, though. Almost as if he was holding somebody down there. That part I don't quite understand. Or maybe it was Irving himself who set it up. Maybe that part's not entirely answered. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, I've been going on long enough about this. With that being said, let us officially close things out for the night. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.